Welcome to the Gift and Home channel and this section on success advice for new stores. In this segment, we're going to talk about how to make really solid decisions. You know, you have a new store and you're perpetually creating policy, making decisions about this, that, and the other thing. You know, your life right now is really a set of decisions that create the culture that you and your staff are going to live with for many, many years down the road. And so, three things that I'd like you to consider whenever you have to create a policy, say return policy, a check cashing policy, you know, what to do with the defective merchandise, all these sorts of decisions that need to be made for the first time. The first thing to consider when you make any decision is, how does it affect your customer? Your business, if you want to be a successful independent store owner in the 21st century, you must be intensely customer focused. And your decisions must be built around, how is this decision going to affect my relationship with my customer? Let me just use an example. Your return policy. Most retail store owners I know have terrible return policies. They're, you know, things like you can return it within 7 days for a refund, within 30 days for a store credit, within 90 days for this. It's just incredibly convoluted and it doesn't keep your customer in mind. Recently, I was in a store in our town here and somebody was returning a jacket. I happen to know the store owner, and I watched this transaction take place. The person wanted to return the jacket. Well, he was a little bit outside of the store's policy. And you could tell the guy was uncomfortable. And you could tell the store owner was uncomfortable because the customer was asking him to violate his sacred policy. Now, in fairness, my friend, the store owner, did return the jacket. But when that customer left, I asked the store owner, did that customer leave happy? And the answer was not really. They were satisfied but not happy. Their return policy was not customer friendly. Now consider this. In the internet, you can return anything almost at any time. You have to really abuse the policy to not be able to return something. The internet is who you compete with, right? So customer-friendly policies. Whenever you create decisions, how is it going to affect my customer's perception of my store? Is it going to make my customers feel good about shopping with me? Or is it going to drive them away, drive them to the competition? Say, forget about those guys, I can just buy it online and I don't have to worry about this kind of hassle. So first part of this decision-making process is customer focused. Second part of the decision-making process is long-term. Always build your business for the long term. Always create decisions that help you build a long-term business. In his book, Growing a Business, Paul Hawken, who said, make every decision like your business is going to be here for 100 years. And although it's difficult to do when you're starting, it's a good perspective. Always think about the long term. Now, the flip side, and it may seem contradictory, but it's not, the third thing to consider when you make decisions early on in your business career is, how much is it going to cost? Meaning, keep an eye on your cash, because cash is king. Cash is your lifeblood. So when it comes to creating these policies, let's just talk about cash and talk about this return policy. And talk about that decision as an example. I recommend that you have essentially a fail-safe